The stewardess took off her stockings in front of all the passengers. She did this because the landing gear of the plane had a malfunction and had to make an emergency landing. Taking off her stockings was to avoid burning her skin when she caught fire. Not only that, the stewardess also let the passengers remove all their jewelry. But at this time, the fuel on the plane was only enough to fly for 10 minutes. The ground fire department has just arrived at the airport runway. Even if they use the fastest speed spray foam, it is difficult to pave the 5,000-meter runway in 10 minutes. The fire chief immediately decided that only the foam sprayed in the most critical places. At the same time, hundreds of members of the armed police force and paramedics also all arrived. When the passengers learned that the plane was going to make an emergency landing, all of them began to be afraid. Some people shouted and lost their minds on the plane, while others silently wrote a good suicide note. This is a real forced landing incident that shocked the world. On September 10th, 1998, an MD-11 airliner loaded with 137 passengers flying from Hongqiao, Shanghai, China to Beijing took off as usual. However, not long after takeoff, the captain found something wrong. The landing gear indicator, which should be green, suddenly turned red. He asked his assistant to reopen the landing gear and retract it once more. But after the operation was completed, he found that the indicator was still red. Realizing the seriousness of the problem, the captain reported the situation to the command desk at the first time and maneuvered the plane to prepare for the return flight. And the passengers in the cabin saw that the plane was going back to the flight, and all of them started to. The passengers in the cabin saw that the airplane was going to return. They all started to be agitated. Ground personnel also discovered through observation that the landing gear of the plane could not be opened normally, which meant that even if it returned to the airport, it would not be able to land normally. Soon, the gentle voice of the stewardess rang out that this plane was going to return to Hongqiao Airport due to mechanical failure. At the same time, the airline's technicians were rushing to the airport at a rapid speed. He understood that once the landing gear could not be lowered, the plane would rub out a lot of sparks and detonate the fuel tanks when it landed.